Hello, good morning, everyone. So we have already 34 participants here in Zoom, and I can see we have participants coming from different parts of the country. We have participants coming from Partido State University. Good morning. We also have participants coming from the city of Tuna, General Santos City. Good morning, everyone. From Tuguegarao City, Cagayan Valley, we have Mario Oli. Good morning, sir. And also, good morning to our viewers on YouTube. We also have participants coming from Colegio San Agustin in Bacolod, Negros Occidental. We also have participants coming from Rojas City, Capiz. So we have also participants from Pangasinan State University. Good morning. And of course, we have participants from Tacurong City, Sultan Kudarat. Okay, so we will start our virtual conference in a short while. So good morning, everyone. Welcome to our 7th virtual conference.
Loyalty is the best.
We would like to request our participants to always mute their audio.
Talaga siya mga
We would like to recognize our participant coming from Tangkawayan, Quezon. We have also participant coming from Camp General Emilio Aguinaldo National High School in Quezon City. We have also participant from Surigao City. We have also participant from the province of Antique. We would like to welcome everyone on another virtual conference hosted by the Philippine Institute of the 21st Century Educators, or the PICE 21, the Philippine Organization of Mentors in Mathematics Incorporated, the POMI, and the International Alliance of Mathematics Teachers, or IAM Teachers. We have a good number of participants coming from all over the country. Our participants are so diverse. We have teachers from public schools, private institutions, state universities, and colleges, among others. But despite of the differences and the distance across among us, we are united by the thoughts that we are mentors in mathematics. It's a common knowledge that indeed math is a very challenging subject. So in order for students to love this subject, especially in this difficult and unprecedented time, we do not just have to be teachers, but we should be mentors who will pave the way ahead. Good morning, Philippines, and good evening, United States of America. So before we start with our actual virtual conference, let me take this time to recognize our participants. So we have participants coming from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. So here in the chat box, I can see that we have participants coming from Metro Manila. We have participants coming from Cagayan State University. We have participants coming from San Juan Batangas Institute in San Juan, Batangas. And we have also participants from the province of Antique, the province of Capiz. We have also participants coming from General Emilio Aguinaldo High School in Quezon City. We have also participants from Tangkawayan, Quezon Province. And we have also participant from Tacurong City, Sultan Kudarat, participant from Colegio San Agustin or Colegio San Agustin in Bacolod. And we have also participant from General Santos City. So good morning, everyone. Welcome to our international virtual conference. also participants or viewers on our YouTube channel. We have viewers from ESAT University. We have a good number of participants from Iloilo Science and Technology University. We have also participants from Olangi Albay. We have also participants coming from Division of Palawan.
Pero kinahanglan na juga sa NC also they ko iluminas ko hindi ka masuligan pero ay paling din so ka kaya ang kaya buhayan isa word no okay le naman ko de ang
And now we would like to request Ma'am Claudia Alipala, a teacher at Haron National High School, for the prayer.
Let's put ourselves in the presence of the Lord. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, we praise and magnify your name this day, and we humble ourselves before your holy presence. You have showered us with so much blessings. Your presence continuously reminds us of your faithfulness and guidance. With this, may we humbly ask you to shower our speaker today your greatest inspiration so that he may be able to share the most of his wisdom, knowledge, heart, and on his topic. May we also absorb the invaluable knowledge, experiences, and put it into practice, that we may be able to learn today. We pray that you bless all the committees in charge, that they may be able to fulfill their task responsibly, that the objectives they have set may all be achieved. Your infinite blessing would mean the success of this seminar. May we be able to live or living witnesses of your genuine love through the enactment of the knowledge acquired through this activity. We ask this in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Amen.
Okay, thank you so much, Ma'am Claudia Alipala. So good morning once again. We are currently viewed in different social media platforms. We are now live via Zoom, and we're also live in the YouTube through the POMI channel. Late telecast of this event will be uploaded at the official Facebook page of POMI later tonight. My name is Isidro Villa Jr. I'm currently a student under the program of Master's in Education, major in Educational Technology and Communications at Rahamangala University of Technology in Sanyaburi, Bangkok, Thailand. So like everyone else, day by day, I'm also confronted with the different challenges in our academic life. Our organization has come up with an idea of organizing a virtual conference series to help educators to cope up with the challenges in this new normal. We have already successfully organized 6 virtual conferences at the moment. And the 7th virtual conference is entitled Teaching and Learning Math Virtually Using Various Tools. So this aims to empower math teachers amidst this pandemic. Nobody has seen it coming, nobody has been prepared for it. But as a 21st century educator and mentors in mathematics, the best time to be ready is now. A quick reminder for our participants, your participation is highly encouraged during the open forum and the question and answer segment to follow right after the talk proper of our speaker. You may comment your question on the comment box on YouTube and Zoom. We will notify you ahead if you're recognized to ask the question. At this juncture, let me introduce to you our guest speaker for this morning. So he studied BS Mathematics at Ateneo de Manila University. He was a former math instructor at Iloilo Science and Technology University, formerly known as Western Visayas College of Science and Technology. He is a graduate of Masters of Education at Deakin University in Australia. He is also a graduate of MS Mathematics at Emporia State University in Kansas, USA. Currently, he is working as a math teacher in Loudoun County Public School, Loudoun County, Virginia, USA. And presently is also a university instructor at George Mason University, Fairfax City, Virginia, USA. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome Professor Judato Noel Obregon. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, Philippines. And to my former students, I'm so glad to see you. Dapat may longgo na lang ko. No? Pero anyway, I want to make sure. You might have some foreign participants. Yeah. So I'm here. It's about 10:23 in the evening in Virginia, Loudoun County. And I'm happy to share my knowledge tonight. And it started with my former student, Ricky Kibinko. And when we contacted each other, and he was like, "Oh, are you willing to, be a speaker in one of our online seminars, webinars?" And I was like, "Okay, no big deal. I mean, I'm happy to help when I can." So it's a pleasure to be here today. Yeah. Good morning again to everyone. So let me start by, can I ask everyone to maybe click on the chat? So at the bottom of your screen, click on the chat so you can see my message. And we will start with a simple introductory activity using Kahoot. I don't know if you've heard of the Kahoot website, but so if you have a separate device, if not, just you can still participate in some way by looking at the screen. So let me ask you to access any browser like Chrome or Explorer or something else. So let me just type in the chat the name of this. So Kahoot, Kahoot .it. So just type kahoot.it and I just type it in. So you can look at the chat. That's what you type in your browser, kahoot.it. And it will give you a screen which says a game pin number. So it's like a game pin number. Let me just put, and then I'm about to share my screen. By the way, feel free to click on the gallery view if you want to see your classmates, because some of you I know were classmates before. So there's a speaker view. There's also the gallery view on the right. But right now we're doing the kahoot.it in any browser, and I'm sharing my screen. Let's see, share. So Zoom is fantastic. I've been using it for my classes in university level. For my high school classes, I'm using Google Meet. So I'm familiar with both of those things. So conferencing tools. Let me share my screen. Let's try this. And just let me know if you cannot see it at any point in time, or maybe I lost the connection. Or if you cannot hear me, just put in the chat or just unmute briefly and tell me that you cannot see it. Actually, I need to go. Let's see. We'll do whiteboard at 5 later. Let's go to Kahoot and let's check. So I'm going to play this. So this is kahoot.com. If you want to have your own account, it's free. And students enjoy this because it's like a game and they're answering like math questions, or occasionally I just introduce myself to parents using this activity. So let me play this. I hope you can see my screen. So the number is 701. So that's what you type in your, yeah, it's in the screen right now. Very good that you can see my screen clearly. So I'll put it in the chat, 7018917. That's the game pin number, 7018917. And put your name, okay, your real name, and then enter. Let's wait for a minute or two. So far we have 2 players. I recognize a few of your names. Your former students, like 17 years ago. That's how fast time flies. So while waiting, as you can see, it's like a game interface. And as long as you have internet connection or your students have connection, they can join even at their homes. So it's perfect for distance learning. And it can be a quiz, it can be something formative before they take something summative. And they're very competitive. That's what I noticed among my high school students. And I'm about to start this, but I'm sure some are still trying to put the game pin number. Let's give them a chance. Yeah. If you don't have an extra device, no problem. Just look at the screen and maybe take notes. Kahoot.it. I'll show you later how I made this game and put the questions. Thank you for putting done. It's like, so I can see your names and you can see probably each other's names. 17, we have around, how many participants? Like close to 50. It's pretty good. Yeah, the winner should have a prize, right? So you can ask Ricky about it. It's 19. This pin number is automatically generated. You don't have to do anything aside from putting the questions and marking the right answers and giving the time, because there's a time limit. In 30 seconds, we're starting this. Right? So, because it's going to be a day of learning. So let's check. For the others, if you can prepare your calculator, if you need that later for some simple arithmetic, that will be our next activity. Or maybe use your phone and access the calculator. So I'm starting this, and all of you will have to watch the screen, and then you will answer through your device. So there are like 4 options. You use your finger, you touch if it's touch. Okay, so touch the option that's correct in your opinion. If you get kicked out, that's normal, technology, but hopefully you can get back in. At this time, I'm gonna start this. So read the question in the screen and then answer through your phone by clicking on the right choice. Are you ready? You have to use your phone. And as you can see, 8 of you just relax. You chilled at home, staying safe. Some of you are still maybe watch games like Go Lakers tonight. I think Lakers are leading. I was watching it earlier. No one travels away because it's not safe. So keep safe. And let's look at the next question. Very few questions here. So there's a leaderboard. So that's why students they enjoy being the leader. So we have top 5. We have 2 Cecils. Maybe that's the lucky name tonight, or in my view, today for you, this morning. And let's move on. So there's hope for everyone. You can be in the leaderboard. Here's the second question. And well, of course, okay, so obviously I have WVCST students. Hi again. And now it's ESAT University. Stonebridge was like my first school in the US. That was 2004. I taught there for like 10 years, so 1 decade. And then I opened Rockridge. That's another school in Loudoun County, Virginia. And it was nice to be a pioneer teacher. You can really like set new things. And then George Mason, that's my part-time job. I'm teaching calculus there this semester. So welcome again to my former WVCST students. I miss you, obviously. So leader, oops, see, it changes. Pearl, might have a prize tonight. Again, contact Ricky, Cha, Jan Sonza, Jules, and then Josa, Grace. Next one. Speed matters. So the faster you answer, I think the better. Yeah, Google search. Philippines loves Google. I love Google. Yeah. Anything you want, exam, I don't know the answer. Okay, let's Google it. There's also such thing as photo math, which is kind of it's not a good thing. Yeah, because students tend to just take a picture. But Google, if you use it in the right way, will help your students. So Khan Academy is popular in the US. It's free. You can always donate, but it's free for your students, and you just have to let them join you through a code. And it's like, I'll talk about asynchronous learning later. So YouTube, I've been making my own YouTube videos, and I can share later how I make them, at least share with you the tool that I use. It's very user-friendly, and it's free again. Learning management system, so I have like Blackboard. I'm sure you have heard of Google Classroom. I've done that in the last spring, but now I'm using Blackboard and Schoology. So those are like a content management system. So students can access all your materials, notes, homework, keys, etc. So it's one-stop shop for their educational needs. The flame here, when you see the flame, that means Jan, if I pronounce your name right, is on a winning streak, like answering 3 in a row. That's the meaning of the flame. But Pearls is up there. Let's check. You can have math questions if you want, but I didn't do that. And of course, as an educator, like all of you, I believe we all want our students to succeed. That's why we're in this job. And I share that with you. Yeah, I like chess. I think you probably noticed my background earlier. In the Kahoot was a chess board. So I love playing it. And I also coach chess team. We were like top 5 in the state of Virginia when I was in Stonebridge. I didn't get 100%, so that's a wrong answer because I think I missed one when you apply for the US. And then I can only go until 300. I have students who can do like 800. So I'm like, wow, they just like to, they have a good memory. And for me, it rhymes, this pi number. So let's check. So this is good for introduction to the parents. If you don't want to speak too much, you're like, oh, let's play a game. And they get to know you and your policies without you having to feel nervous. So Pearl is probably unbeatable. Look at Rick and Cloudy. They're catching up. So speed matters. The faster you answer, the more points you get. When you play Kahoot, we don't usually have to wait for the last person to answer. You can set the timer, and well, if the last person answers, it will stop the timer also, so it can be faster. Yes, you want to use technology, which is the essence of our conference tonight, or today, this morning. I keep on forgetting. You're like 12 hours ahead of Virginia time, so Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, the big reason is like it facilitates teaching and learning, and of course, some of you answered during the pandemic. Again, I hope everyone is safe. We need to have this distance learning. So virtual learning environments, we can use technology to our advantage. Like what we're doing right now, Zoom conference, this is perfect. You don't want to do it just because everyone's using it, and definitely don't do it just because our president is ordering it. It's not even a mandate. So let's go to the next one. This is almost done. Joshua Gray's winning streak. And then Pearl is up there. So 6 questions out of 7. This is about my US policy, just sharing with you. Cell phones. So the correct answers are the bottom ones. So it's important because cell phones are distractions. I'm sure you agree with me. And I usually have a place in the back of the room they can even charge. I'm like baiting them to charge so they don't even touch it during the class. And also like when they play Kahoot or any other activity, I ask them to get their cell phones out and they're usually happy to have that. We also have like Chromebooks. So every student is given Chromebooks. So instead of cell phones, we have Chromebooks. So they have no excuse that they have to use their cell phone. So very important to avoid distractions. Of course, now they're at home, it's very hard. And they're probably using the phone to join the Zoom anyway. And last chance to catch up. And there'll be like a ceremony. Also with Kahoot, you can see the scores of everyone. So you kind of expect everyone to participate. You can see the report and the scores and which questions, if you're doing math questions, which ones were missed by many students. So you can adjust your teaching. But I'm using it tonight just to like an introduction. So also like back to school with parents in the US. So last question, okay. How can teachers help students learn math in a virtual environment? And 10 of you, yeah, you collaborate. So yeah, this is a good group, right? So if you know people, you have a network, you have POMI, if I pronounce the organization right, PASC, okay. You can definitely attend conferences like this or webinars. Desmos, I will show that today. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's again free. And there's some sophisticated Desmo activity builders, but I'll just show you like the basic stuff that your students and you can use. Asynchronous learning is important if like internet connection is a problem when you do synchronous like live sessions and your students complain. So you can do like asynchronous and they can access it at their own time, hopefully at the time when their internet is more stable. And I'm kind of promoting Khan Academy, but this is not the only resource, but I'm showing you what I use in my classes, for example, last year. And let's see, okay, so here's the winner. So this is the end of our Kahoot activity. So it gives you a ceremony. Congratulations, chat. You won something tonight or today. Jose Grace. And the winner. Pearl. Pearl, you know, so let me now show you. Thanks for participating. I'm just adjusting with my screen. Let me exit this one. Let's see what I can do. Here, and I want to close the window, but I have to toggle over this. Maybe I'll do this. Let's check. And okay, so I leave that. There's a report. So just quickly, I want to share with you like how do you do like a quiz or a game or something like an activity to get them to like change your pace. Because let's say they're bored and they want something new, okay, while still learning math. So I have like, this is my account. I opened it a few years ago. It's free. So you just go kahoot.com as usual, okay? Kahoot.com, open an account. There's also an upgrade with more features, but if you don't want to pay, just use the basic. This is just basic I'm using. And then let's say your topic is you're teaching high school and you're teaching graphing rational functions. So let me show you how simple it is to do this. So you open an account and then you create, okay, you create a Kahoot quiz or activity. You can put the title there. You can see, you can change that. And then you can put the description. You can share this with other teachers or people who are also accessing Kahoot. And then you say done. And then the questions are on the left side of the screen. So let's say I have quiz number 1 and you type the question. So here, so my topic is rational functions. So after you like taught the material, you can try this. So what's the equation of the vertical asymptote? And then the choices are, so some of these are just by default. They give you the colors. And then you can just type here, x equals 14. So and then you press enter. So all the choices, you can also put images from your computer as answers to this question. The timer, you can do like faster, 10 seconds, or if they're solving math, you can do like 30 seconds. It depends on the math question. And then you can put points. You can have 0 for like trivial questions, like what does Mr. O be like in the class? And then also you can make it 2000. You can give them multiple selections. So like multiple correct answers. And then this is an image that I took a picture and then I sent it to my computer files, Google Drive. And then if I remove this, I can go upload an image and it will, yeah. So you can go to your flash drive, Google Drive, all those drives. You also have an image library. So there are some free ones. If you go to math, it's pretty cool because it's already preloaded. And some of the figures I used to, the images were coming from here. So I just did it very fast. And this is my favorite number. See the pi there. So you can put that. Let's put the pi and see what happens. There we go. So that is your background while the question is being posted. So that's question one, and then it automatically saves. And then you let me, so I can add a question, or I can just edit the previous one. So my topic again is asymptotes horizontal. Students have choices. You play with distractors, the common misconceptions. I also have questions like, how do you know? So it's not like easy. They have to read like the sentence. This is almost done. And I just want to show you like how to add like a totally new question. And sometimes you can put something, Americans love to have like, they want to know more of their teacher, personal side. So I'm like, Mr. OB, they call me Mr. OB. In college, they call me Professor OB. And I think in the WVCST, you call me Sir Dino. So different cultural adjustment. And okay, in the chat, these are the names. Okay, this is real. So I have a pet dog is actually here with me. If you can put in the chat, okay, let's put the chat in action, so interaction with your students. Can you guess the name? Can you type the name of my dog? Just make a good guess. Okay? Can I ask everyone to use the chat feature? It's at the bottom, click on the chat, and if you can write the name. So the choices are Spot, Max, Bo, and Tucker. Just make a good guess. So I'm looking at the chat, no one's putting in, so hopefully you can make a choice. I just want to make sure. Okay, so someone said Bo. Any other people? Okay, so you want your students to, so when I do Zoom, I always use the chat, and I also ask them to unmute. Like they're always muted, but at some point I'll let them volunteer to unmute. Max, Bo. Okay, so I just want to, so you want to join, you might as well make a choice before I add a new question. And the correct answer is, wow, how do you know that? Yep, maybe you heard the background. Okay. His name is Bo. So 10-year-old Bichon Poodle, my inspiration, aside from the other inspiration. And let me show you how to add a question. So here you can add a question. You can do true or false, type the answer. But some of these are premium, like you have to pay to upgrade. But quizzes and true or false, it's free. So let me click on the quiz, and then you can put images, and you can put here solve for X, and give them some equation. You can even put an image, and then you give them choices, and you click on the correct answer. So put a check mark and then add another choice. So that is kahoot.com. But when students join, they have to do kahoot.it, the thing I put in the chat. So feel free to think about like, where can I use this? I will not keep the changes. It's not just for introductory activities. It can also be for a real quiz, a formative assessment that will help you gauge if students are really learning. Okay. It also, when you analyze the report, like item analysis, it tells you which questions they're kind of missing. So let me show you my flip chart. So here, my journey. So before I use in WVCST the green board, like the blackboard or the green board. And then sometimes there's a whiteboard in the computer room. They seem to be advantage, right? And then in the US, there's a whiteboard, like really whiteboard, physical whiteboard. And then I transitioned into the overhead projector, which is now kind of a dinosaur, OHP. I'm sure some schools are using it, but I did it for like 5 years in the US, 2004, all the way maybe to 2009. And eventually you have the LCD projector, which is popular in the Philippines. And then I transitioned into an interactive whiteboard. So they have like smart boards, they have Promethean, and this is like Promethean product. So you might have PowerPoint slides, you have Google slides, but in my school district, we're using Active Inspire flip chart. So this connects to the Promethean board. So it's an interactive whiteboard. Now, the final thing is I can just write on my tablet. So my laptop, I just convert this into a tablet, and I'm using my stylus. In fact, I'll show it later. So this is convertible, and then I can write on the screen and you can see it. So I've been teaching this way, both high school and university. So, so welcome again, and we did Kahoot. So find a way to maybe integrate that in your teaching if you have the resources. I'm also going to show you Desmos. which is a free online calculator, but it's more than a calculator. It shows you the graphing. It has graphing features. Then Khan Academy, I'll show you like an overview. Students can use for like, oh, I need more help or I need more resource. They can do that on their own. You don't have to really do anything that takes too much work. Okay? It's on the students. You make them responsible. Screencast-O-Matic is just the way I record my videos. You can have a free one. I actually paid subscription. The free one will only allow you to record 15 minutes. So, but that's probably enough time. You know, you don't want to talk too much. And then, but I wanted like, because I teach college, so they have longer attention span and they really need to learn the calculus. So it needs lots of explanations and investigations. At this point, I will try to, so I will share with you the, let's see, the whiteboard.fi. So there's also Jamboard for Google Meet, but let me check if it's still active. Because maybe, so let me save my whiteboard. Let me put it in the chat. Okay, so it's whiteboard.fi. It's a way for us to involve students, like let them participate, let them write. They can use the mouse and use the pencil in the tool or pencil tool, and they can put the numbers. So I'm thinking of an activity now. And if you can see my screen, it says whiteboard.fi. That's the website. You can copy that down or take a picture. And I copied the URL to clipboard. It was easy to set up. I mean, I just watched a YouTube video, like, oh, how do I do this? Because I want my students to participate. So here is my question. And I'm going to push this, okay? But before that, I need to go to the chat. So I have two screens. You're probably wondering why I'm looking up there. I have an extended monitor, like a TV screen, so I can see all of you. And I have my laptop, which I convert to a tablet, so I can write on it with a stylus. So now I'm going to do Control-V, shortcut for pasting. Can anyone who has like access, I mean, I'm sure you're using your computer or phone. Can you click on this one? It says whiteboard. Just click on that link. It's in the chat. Took me like maybe 5 minutes to set this up with my instructions and access it now if you could. And this is my instruction with, so we're using whiteboard.fi. Let me go back to my, let us check. So this is like a mathematics. I was like, what can I show you that the high school teachers can relate to, and also college teachers, and even like elementary school teachers. So I was like earlier, if you can put use your calculator, or if you have a phone with a calculator, can you do this? So I'm going to sample this, and this is what I'm gonna do. I will temporarily stop my video so I can fold my. You can also have like a tablet connected to your laptop. That's another way, and you can write on that. You also have like the Wacom or Wacom. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's popular here if you connect. So if you see on my screen, and this is my instruction. So write a 4-digit number. So I'm using my pen in real time. And you can have like 5352, 9655. You can create a random 4-digit. Let's keep it short, small. So let's say I decide to do 4321. Okay, you can have your own later. Now I'm going to reverse. So I'm following my instructions. I'm going to reverse the 4-digit number. So that means from like backwards. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You are reversing. That's what I got. Okay, so just follow the steps, and you can show this to your class if you want in a Zoom or Google Meet session. If you have your PowerPoint, okay, mine is a flip chart. So next one is you want to subtract the two numbers. So I'm putting this one, and that's why I like, if you like to take it easy, use a calculator on your phone, type this in. This is mine. You have to have yours, right? You have to create. Let's say yours was 6,951. So if you reverse that, it's 1596. Hopefully you subtract the big number by the small number. So I'll do this by hand, and I think I will have 3,087. You can just type it in if you want, or to check. I have an eraser tool as well. So very cool flip chart or writing tool. So 3,087. And now I'm thinking, so next, so I'm done with this, I'm done with that. So very important to clarify the instructions. Multiply the result, what you have so far. You want to multiply that by any 2-digit number, your favorite 2-digit number, from 10 to 99. Okay, what is my favorite number? So I subtracted, I got a new result. I'm going to times this x here. Multiply this by 20, And if my calculations are right, this is going to be 61,740. Of course, there's a zero at the end. 14 carry 1, 16, 7 carry 1. So it's 61,740. And I successfully followed those instructions. So yours, I don't know what your number is, but you can choose any number to multiply. Just make it 2-digit. I mean, you can do 3-digit, but let's keep it small and use your calculator or phone calculator. Now, finally, okay, this is mathemagic. You want to select a non-zero. I cannot handle zero. No one likes zero. Okay, so select a non-zero digit. So that's 1 to 9, any of those, and keep it as your secret digit or secret number. So let me change colors here. Notice that I have like so many colors here in my palette or toolbar on the right. And I'm going to select, so I cannot choose zero. I'm going to select something like, let's say 4. Okay, so finally, I'm going to keep my secret. So in my mind, oh, Mr. OB doesn't know this. So 4 is my secret. He doesn't know. I'm not going to write this anywhere. And then all you have to do now is to recite, or because we have the whiteboard.phi, you can actually share with me. It doesn't have to be with everyone, just with me at least. So write your digits. So this is what you do. So when I share with you the whiteboard.phi, I'll push it soon. You will do 6 in any order. 1, 7. Give me all the other numbers that are not secrets to you. Put 0. If something repeats, you put another number. You have to exactly write, and you can put a comma if you want, and then you recite it, or you'll write this on the whiteboard I provided. It's free again, so FI, and you can program it in 5 minutes. So 6170, and then I will look at your whiteboards, and shortly I will tell you what your secret number is. So hopefully you can follow. So let me now go to my, okay, so let me just, if you want me to clarify, just let me know, but maybe it's good to repeat. I think students like when things are repeated. So write a 4-digit number. Yours is 6951 or something else. Mine is just easy, 4321. Reverse the number, which means the other way. So 15964, maybe for some of you. Mine was just 1234. You subtract them using a calculator, mental, or machine. Next, you get a big number. Of course, you get a big number. And then you multiply by the result by any 2 digits. So 11, 12, all the way to 99. I like number 20. Okay, so I use a calculator again. I get a big number because you're multiplying by a 2-digit. Finally, mathemagic. You select a non-zero digit, so ignore 0. And I circled 4. There's also a highlighter tool, by the way, with this flip chart. So lots of tools to help teach, to clarify things, to highlight things. So that's my magic number, and I kept it as a secret in my wallet or something. Okay? That's 4. And then you will tell the students will tell you, okay, here are my numbers, Mr. OB or Miss Juliet. Okay, who's the winner? Sha or yeah. And even 0 is included. Okay, but your secret cannot be 0. And then only one number is missing. And then you'll put this in whiteboard.phi, put a comma, so I know that they're individual digits. And I will tell you, hopefully my mental powers are holding up tonight in my time. And I will tell you that you got 4. So here is the whiteboard.phi. So that's a website, and then you'll create a new class. It's very self-explanatory. And then you'll go to your whiteboard, and I use the text tool, and I said, write your digits below, give the instructions, and now I'm pushing this to all of you. So it says push whiteboard to students. And now you should all, if you access that link again, so maybe I'll do it again. Let me just do Control V or copy and paste and enter. How do I enter? Let me use my keyboard. Oh, there. So my keyboard is, let me press enter. Yeah, so you can click on the whiteboard again. And can you please start writing your digits? Okay? Hopefully you're able to follow the instructions. And hopefully you're looking at the screen, and this is my class. So you are in my class. Look at all your names showing up on the screen. So can you imagine your students, if they're able to join, the more the merrier, because you want them to be active. For me, chat is not enough. Like they put their answers there. Unmuting, you need some like polling, Zoom polls, and something like this, Padlet, anything that allows them to share their ideas using technology. So far, no one is writing any any digit, but you can use the pencil tool. So the pencil tool is this one, the upper left, and you can write, okay, 1, 6, 7, and then make sure you keep your 4. Okay, don't write your secret number. And then once you give me those other numbers in any order, exactly what they are, if it's double, you double them. Then I can go back to this and I can tell you what you actually got. So if you can get at least one of you to finish the computations, I know most of your math teachers, and if you can put that in this, oh, you have to save, sorry. So once you put your input, I think you have to do save whiteboard. That's the only way the teacher can see your results. So if you can put save, wonder if that's your view. Oh, very good. So I see, what's the name here? I should wear glasses. I couldn't see them. Ara Mina. Oops. Okay, so let's see. So Ara has one. Maybe we have a few more. So make sure you save. You save your numbers. Okay. And let me go back to my flip chart. So if you can follow this, any 4 digits, subtract by the reverse, multiply by any 2 digit you want. You have a big number. Keep a secret. Okay, 1 digit is a secret. And then read or type all the other numbers that you have. And don't keep 0 as a secret. That's the only one I cannot guess. And after you write it, okay, so you go to Wi-Fi. I gave you a link. We go back to this. And if you save, okay, now we have more. Thank you. Maybe some don't have access because maybe you're using your phone, and that's fine. And let us see if this works. So, okay, so keep on writing and saving. You need to save. You need to tell your students they have to save their work so that the teacher can see it. I can also share this with the whole class, like what I'm doing right now. So let's check with Ara. Hopefully Ara can put something in the chat just to confirm if my magic works. Okay, ready? So if I'm reading your number right, this is 4078. So that seems to be a very difficult choice. You have a big number, and let's see. So that means you probably had a secret, right? And your secret is, was it 8? Can Ara say yes or no? Was it 8 for this secret number? You can type yes or just unmute and say you're wrong. Yep. So can you type it in? Yes in the chat. If so, Ara, I was thinking your number was 8. Yes, sir. Look at that. Oh, how did I marry Maria Ara Godoy? Okay, let's try Philip. Look at Philip. So Philip has smaller numbers, so maybe this is easier. So 6, 4, and 2. Wow. Let's see. I think your magic, or the one you hid, if you're following the instructions, is, let's see. Is it 6? Can you put in the chat if 6 was the correct number? That would be Philip. Or you can unmute, say, no, you're wrong. Or yes. Can you put it in the chat? Is Philip there? I guess that your number was 6. Okay, so just bear that in mind. You can chat and tell me or unmute. Who else is next? Cecil, I see your numbers. You have 3 numbers only. So let's see. So that's 9, 8, and 2. I'm guessing that, let's see, that should be another 8. So can Cecil write yes or no? Was it 8 or something else? So everyone's like, look in the chat. And you can do that later, right? So I said 8 and then 6, I think, for the other one. We have TENAJ. You have, I think your number is 9. Is that correct, Tenaj? Or if I pronounce it, sorry. Was it 9? And you can tell your students to unmute. Oh, wow. So Janet, I didn't call on you yet. Well, you're the reverse. Okay. I can look at your screen as well and your computations. So based on this, it should really be 9. What did you have instead? It must be some. And if you say 0, I remember I cannot guess 0. So I'm not sure. Sometimes it's the way we follow. So we have Jules, my former student, right? So you have 44460 and you hit the number and you probably hit a, let's check. Was it a 9? Is it Jules? Was it 9? Yeah, you can put your questions. Yeah, and you can put the numbers here. If this is probably better if you have like a live class with the students are really like they're forced. Oh yes, sir. Look at that. Okay, let's try another one, and I will share with you the secret, or maybe open the floor. Like, how did this happen? Because the numbers I'm saying are different. And I can go back to Janelle. Okay. So we have one more who wants to go last. Let's see. I already mentioned. Oh yes, sir. Look at Philip. So he was able to tell us that I got his number. All he did was to put, and he can write yes, sir. Excellent. And one more who wants me to, okay, so all right, did that, Cecil, you didn't give me feedback yet. Rodel did some calculation, and but then I can see your number. Oh, but you hit your 2-digit. So Rodel, if that's a 1 and a 9, I'm suspecting that it's going to be an 8. So feel free to comment. Yes, okay, so I got it again. And there we go. So let me, so this is Whiteboard at 5, another tool for interactivity. It doesn't have to be a guessing game. It can be like where I'm teaching you factoring of quadratics. So you give them like a problem, everyone writes on their board, hopefully with a mouse, if they have computer access. It depends. I don't know the whole story. So it depends on the resources. And then they send it to you and you can see it in one big screen. And you can keep on, you can even save their work, like record that they're really doing work, and maybe you can grade it. And it's over here. It is settings, the gear icon. It has like, you can clear all whiteboards. You can save them as PDF. And now I will close the room. And that's another one you can write in your paper, like Whiteboard at 5. Try it sometime for students to get the input. So let me keep on admitting people. So I have people who came here. And now I'm going to move on to the next one. So Mathemagic, why does it work? Does someone have any idea? Can you put it in the chat or briefly unmute? How did I do it? Because the numbers were all random, like, and then you keep a secret. How was that? So I was planning to prove it using some number theory. So I was like, oh, maybe the college teachers, professors can appreciate it. I'm not gonna do it anymore because I want to go to Desmos after this. And grade school, you can, this is the secret. This is coming from elementary. And then for high school, I was about, if I were to prove this, it would have used like lots of foiling or multiplying binomials and using like powers of 10. So that's relative to high school. So everything is like hit by the idea. So the secret is, does anyone want to guess? And I can say it at the end, but it's all about, so if you're teaching elementary math, divisibility, sounds like disability, but divisibility by, what do you think is the number? So when you gave me like 1, 9, 0, 11, so someone said 11. If a number is divisible by 11, there's a rule for that. This one is just so 1 and 9, that's I added them up, so 10. And then what do I add to 10 to make it a multiple of 9? So I was doing the quick arithmetic in my head. So 8 will give you, because the multiples of 9 are easily written, 9, 18, 27, 36. You probably need just those 4. And if you need something, then you're like, what's the next multiple of 9? So perfect for divisibility. The proof was really nice, but I think, well, time-wise, I'm not gonna show the proof anymore. But not 7 as well, but 7, 11, that's my birthday. I saw my wonderful numbers. Okay, so divisibility by 9, if you taught it before in some fashion, it's all about adding the digits. So you add all the digits one by one, and then the sum should be divisible by 9 as well. So that's like the theory, the number theory. So very cool trick that you can use in your class. So now we go to maybe just the last part, because I'm conscious of time. We have Desmos. Desmos is a powerful tool. And I was planning like a Zoom poll. So when you teach the students and then they can interact and you can share the results of the poll. But I don't think I had the capacity today. So I thought of something else. So let me share with you this Desmos. I used to have my students buy a Texas instrument like TI-83. It's a graphing calculator. The US, they need to do that because of standardized exams. In Virginia, they need it. But recently, like last year, state of Virginia, they changed. So Desmos is free. So everything I'm promoting tonight is like, or today is free. Like you can access this on your own. And I will now go to that Desmos. Okay? Just one more thing that I think is crucial. And here we go. So Desmos intro. Yeah, we have to unmute. That's what I tell my students. So, yeah. In the beginning of the school year, I'm like, here are the rules. Mute your mic. You can turn camera on or off. I give them a choice. And then anytime, feel free to put it in the chat. So, and they're very cooperative. So this is desmos.com. You can write it down. Desmos.com, free online graphing calculator. You can type any equation you want. X squared plus y squared equals 4. Here's the function tool in the lower left. You can have functions like trigonometry. You're teaching trig. Sine, cosine, tangent. You can have logarithms, base A. You can have integral calculus, derivative symbols, statistics if you love statistics. So anything that you can type in, you can use Desmos for most part. And when I graph this one, I have my, so this is conic section. So you can type an equation in real time and the students can see it. I have a trig function, cosine, you see the cosine wave. And you can zoom this, I'm using my finger. There's also the plus and the minus. You can go home, normal screen. There's the settings. And if you click this, turn this on, it will display the ellipse. So the topic here is, so you can make a design just by using this. So just have my intro Desmos. But more importantly, we can teach something like transformations. Let me pick one. And you can create this, you can save, and this is free again. So your students can also access for free. Here is the graph. So let's say your topic was about the sine function, so trigonometry. And I did see the units here, pi over 2 pi. All I did was go to the settings and I typed like step or increment pi over 2. So that's the setting toolbar. So I'm like giving you like a quick snapshot. Zoom in, zoom out. If it's touch screen, you can even make it bigger with your fingers. Now, so I give them a couple of equations. So the students are like, they've never seen this before, at least not the transformations. And I ask them, what do you think happens if you have sine x plus 2? And all of you are probably thinking, and after a while, and they can even put in the chat, and I'm going to click on, I'm turning it on and you can see a different color. So they can see real time, oh, the graph vertically shifted by 2 steps. Okay, so if you have Zoom, Google Meet, you present your screen, share your screen, go to this Desmos website and you can create a free account and you add something, you add a new set of equation, like equation editor, and you can have all the functions. Let me try the next one. And you can, like, this is investigation. So how do you use this? You can use demo, like as a demonstration tool. You're the teacher, it's showing it to them. Or you can also assign the equations in advance, let them type it, and let them discover. And at the very end, you can do like a poll or something like summary of what happened. Let me go to the next one. And for those of you who taught this, x minus pi over 2, the graph seems to have shifted, okay, different color. And let me erase the second one. It shifted to the right by pi over 2. Of course, you don't want to say that. You want your students to discover that. Okay, let me uncover this one. Or you can press on and it goes away. Okay, 3 sine x. What happens when you put a number 3 just in front of sine x? So real time, they can see it stretches vertically. It's being scaled. Okay, you can probably teach 0, 0 is a key point, pi over 2 comma 1, after you taught them the trig functions, okay, maybe unit circle. And let me continue clicking on the other ones. So sine of 2x, the most difficult thing that students struggle with, in my experience, is the horizontal compression, like you're shrinking it horizontally. So the parent function is the original blue function. The black one is the compressed version. So that's what happens when you put like a 2 next to the x inside the parenthesis. Finally, we have negative signs. So if you want to teach reflection, there are 2 types of reflection, over the y-axis or over the x. This one, I believe, is over the x-axis. We have sine of negative x, a totally different story. They have the same color. I should have chosen a different color. This is reflection over the y-axis. And so you can keep on writing equations. And finally, from desmos.com, you type y sine, you put like a small number, like less than 1, 0.5 next to x. And notice that your graph, and you can use you can trace with your mouse, you can move it to the right, you can investigate functions. Okay, so if you're teaching like higher math or just high school math in particular, you can probably use this and you can make it bigger, you can change the scaling. So this one looks like a wider graph, horizontal stretching. This is called horizontal stretch from the parent. Let me see what else is very impressive. So when I first learned this, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, because I was so happy to have the TI-84, like the graphing calculator, because I can explore the transformations. But when I discovered Desmos, I'm like, this is free. I don't have to buy $100 calculator, and my students can always access. They have no excuses. But let me show you one more feature. So there you were able to describe the transformation, so the effects of changing the numbers. So let me do one more. You can teach like the intersection or solution, but maybe I will end this Desmos with expo and logarithmic graphs. So I just type the equations, I put a line in the middle. This is y equals x, the easiest line ever. And then you can turn on and off. You click on the circle. 2 to the x is, and if you get lost, you go home. This is the home menu, right? So go home. So that is look at the exponential. It grows very fast. Okay, exponential function, you can make a table. Now you want to introduce logarithm, like log. Here we go. So base 2, so if you look at the left side, you can see it in the screen. Click on that. Now you have the green object. And you can teach them that one of them is the reflection of the inverse, and the line, the mirror line, is called y equals x. So very good tool for doing functions. And you know, functions is a central concept in mathematics. Without this, I mean, how would you do it? You can probably use Manila paper or maybe a graphing paper, like the real paper. But this one is like automatic, and it's in your fingertips as long as you have, of course, the internet connection at some point. And it's really useful. So I have many other things from Desmos, and also it's not just you creating this. You can actually, I would say the word steal, but they're actually giving it out to you for free. There's some other resources that other teachers, remember, there's a community of teachers you can hopefully belong to and access. They have all those things pre-made. So I make my own, because I can just write equations. I have this function tool. All of you see the exponent here, a squared, a to the b. All of the numbers are there, the functions menu. So the secret really to learning technology is just to play with it. And you have to make a commitment. Like you want your students to maybe learn better, and you want to help them understand visual relationships, then try and take a risk. Okay? It's all about taking a risk. And I can promise you that, you know, my students are like, oh my goodness, I wish I knew this before in a previous math class. So let me go back to my flip chart. And I was about to demonstrate like the Zoom polls, how I use it in my classes, but I didn't have access even though I'm the host. And I know that this is a professional account, but anyway. So my follow-up question, if I had a chance, was this one. And, but I'm thinking maybe this is not the time. I'm just gonna summarize the next things I will give you an advice on. So if there was a poll and I put it in Zoom and I launch it so students can see it in the middle of the screen, I will have these questions here. What's the horizontal shift? So now it's mathematics. For the function, I try to make it like confusing and just to challenge them after all this investigation. So you spend time discovering. And next question, which one has a wider graph? So it's multiple choice. Students like multiple choice, they don't have to show the work, but still it reflects their thinking. Especially if you tell them, I'm gonna grade this, it counts for a grade. The poll in Zoom has a report. It's auto, you can make it a spreadsheet file. So many cool features of Zoom, including chat, polling, and sharing the results. You can tell your class 50% of you got the right answer for number 1. Anyway, if you look at this equation, this is a trick problem. This negative inside should have been factored out. And I believe the right answer here is you have to go right by 1. Most students will say left by 1. The form you need to have is this factored form, negative of something in parentheses. So -1 really means you go to the right by 1 step. Number 2, more students will get this because wider means this way, coming from the parent. The parent is y equals x squared. So math is universal. I'm pretty sure You also teach them the basic x squared. I call them parent and the child are like the wider ones or the thinner ones. And the wider one here is the one with 0.5. Anything that's less than 1 will be wider than anything that's more than 1. So this is called stretch. So again, my topic here is transformations. I'm wrapping it up by using the Paul quiz. So far we did, so I'm gonna summarize now. Things, again, for me, the biggest thing is if you're hesitant to try something that is free, so sometimes the problem is I don't have money to buy this resource, but this is like a giveaway. The only condition is you have some internet connection. So for asynchronous learning, when students are left on their own and at the time that their internet is better, they can access the following Khan Academy. Okay? The students will join your course by a code. And I can quickly show you Khan Academy since I prepared this. It's over here, I think. Let me say goodbye to this whiteboard. Let me say goodbye to the Desmos and leave the site. You can save it. Here's Khan Academy. So khanacademy.org, Google search. I know you told me that was your favorite tool. You can Google this. And this is my AP calculus. I taught like advanced placement, like college level math in high school. And all of these topics, I didn't create this. I let my students watch videos and let me just look at the quiz so they can take the quiz. It's like a curriculum made for you. So if you're looking for resources, Khan Academy is free. It's not calculus only. You can also have Algebra 2, where you teach geometry, pre-calculus, Algebra 1, basic math, grade school, it will say there. So something that I've used at least for the last few years. And I don't really work, hard, because the video is already prepared for my students. It's a good supplement to what I teach in the classroom. So Khan Academy, Screencast-O-Matic, if you want to take note of that, if you want to play with it. Again, the secret is just try it, and you can record videos. I only learned it like maybe last year because of the pandemic. Like earlier, I was like experimenting. So YouTube video, you create an account, and I have like right now I have so many videos made for my college students. I have an asynchronous class at George Mason. Delta Math, I'm going to skip it for now. But again, that's something asynchronous, free resource. Students can take a quiz, and all you need to do is record their scores. And you just have to select the quiz, of course. You have to select the topics which you're testing them. And finally, last page here, before I open it up to question and answer. Okay? Feel free to ask questions after this. Zoom, okay? This is the power of Zoom. I also like Google Meet, but to be honest, Zoom for me is just better. For Zoom, you share the screen or screens. You can let students annotate. They can write on the screen in real time. It's good for tutoring online, so you get extra money. Google Meet presents screens. So this is for my high school. This is for university. So I prefer Zoom. And what are the options? I mentioned the polls that you can share with your students, give them feedback. It's all about giving them feedback and making them feel like their classmates are learning, because otherwise they'll make an excuse. So everyone's not learning. But if they see that more than 60% are getting it, then they're like, oh, I better take responsibility. So at least that's my experience teaching American students. Chat feature, we kind of did it today, but I expected more, but maybe you're not just used to, maybe you don't want to take a risk. Whiteboard.fi, another free resource. You can use this in Zoom. Google Meet has something better called Jamboard. So again, it's more for students to participate in your classes, which is distance learning, virtual environment. Desmos also has an activity builder. So I mentioned like sophisticated part. I just showed you the basics of Desmos, which is just using it to explore functions and the effect of certain things on the function graphs from the parent to the child. Nearpod is a good thing. Flipgrid, so if you want to take a picture of this one, feel free to do that. That's for six. So to summarize, we have asynchronous, okay, resources that are free that your students can do in their own time. I really love Screencast-O-Matic, and you hear yourself and you can learn from it, because I learned from myself, recording myself. I'm like, oh, I keep on saying the word so many times and the word and many times. I'm like, I'm conscious about it, and I try to improve on mine. So it improves your teaching. And then synchronous is what we're doing right now. Polls, chat, and if you unmuted yourself, then it's more interaction. But maybe you'll do that when we have the question and answers. So I'm happy to share all of these things with you. And let me turn the mic to the who's the facilitator, to open it up to questions. And maybe you need to, let me check, how do I share? I'll stop my sharing. I'll stop my sharing so you can take over. And I can,
Thank you so much, Professor Obregon.
no
We are
problem.
actually receiving a lot of positive feedback on your talk this morning, sir. Your sharing is very interactive and I personally enjoyed it. So we will now proceed on the open forum and the question and answer portion. There is somebody assigned in our committee to select the questions to be asked on this segment. We would like to encourage everyone to raise relevant questions on the topic presented this morning. We have allocated 1 hour and a half on this virtual conference, so we will try to cater questions as many as we can. When raising your question, kindly introduce yourself and the name of the institution you are affiliated with. So, sir, we have a question here. Since we have Bachelor of Secondary Education major in math students attending this morning, we would like to ask you how to become a successful math teacher like you. How to be you po, sir, sabi nila.
Wow, that's like a Mr. Universe question or Miss Universe. How do you become an excellent math teacher or yeah, become in that profession? I would say if I rank it number one, you should know your. Can we mute that? I can probably do that. I'm sure it's not intentional, but that happens. I'm looking at the screen and because see, I'm looking at the big
Regine,
screen.
kindly mute somebody.
Kahit sino, basta may kumuha. Sige, isang kilo.
Buti na lang
We're so sorry, sir. Just hold on for a while. We'll look for
You look for that person.
Mamaya naman ang tanong
one who has an open
By
microphone.
the way, that also happens with students, you know, college students or high school, and it's usually not intentional. And we just
Yes.
tell you unmute them. But I couldn't find a person in the screen who is not muted at this time. So going
I
back
think
to the
we have
question,
muted. We have
Thank you.
muted her already, sir.
so the her or him. Number one is know your content. Like you really have to know the math. If you don't know the math as deep, then it's very hard to teach or to become a good teacher. For me, it's just a personal opinion. Number two is, yeah, as I told you earlier, you have to be open.
Uy, naka-unmute si Sir Obregon. Uy, di lang naka-unmute si Sir Obregon.
For some reason, I was like, so you can read my lips. Okay. So let me go back. Number one, I'm now unmuted. Thank you. Maybe it was accidental again. So technology happens. Know your content. So if you can study, that's why I studied like Master of Science, like all those program, like deeper math. So I feel confident when I teach my students like higher math, or even just, you know, even the basic math, but you have like a deep, like divisibility by 9. If you know like the number theory part, you feel more confident and you can do tricks like that. Number two is be open to new things, especially in this pandemic. You have to learn. I forced myself to learn how to make videos. So someone had a question, how to use Screencast-O-Matic. It's a free recorder, so you can also edit your videos. It allows you to make math lessons. And you can, whatever I did today, I shared my screens, right? I go from flip chart to that. You can do that. You can record that interactivity in your Screencast-O-Matic video. So it's for as asynchronous lessons. Sometimes my synchronous class would need more examples. So I make a video using Screencast-O-Matic and give it to them. So openness to technologies that are free, because I know that sometimes finances is the obstacle. Number three, since you're doing Bachelor of Science in Education, I was a Master of Education, but I never took like, well, I did try to do a teacher education program. I was really pure math, so the content's really there. But when I was in WVCST, I tried, I took the licensure exam for teachers. So I took 18 units. I was like a student and a teacher at the same time. My classmates were my students in teaching math, BS teaching math. So it was fun. So because you're in the education, so you have to follow whatever your teacher advise you, like teaching techniques, philosophy of teaching, like technology today. I mentioned that you just don't use technology because you want to use it. You have to have a reason. You want to facilitate the learning and teaching of math. So maybe just to keep it short, those top three, know your content. It never hurts to learn more, and maybe collaborate with other teachers. Number two is openness, the attitude, to just try maybe just one new thing. You don't have to be like me. I was overwhelmed by many changes, but I did it all because I need to. So maybe just one little thing, try Desmos, use that in your lesson to show like transformations of functions. And number three was, if you're an education major, take advantage of the fact that you're in that field. So you're really learning like principles and methods of teaching. And practice teaching, of course, is that's like the best way to learn how to teach. Like I learned how to teach when I was in the classroom. I mean, all this theory, it's basically it doesn't really, it's kind of useless if you don't have the experience. So experience is number one teacher. Yeah, that's my answer. I was not muted, so that's good. What else?
Okay, sir, that is really very inspiring. And now we have also a question here. What is the major difference between teaching math subjects in the Philippines and abroad?
Based on my initial experience in the US, the biggest difference is, that's why I miss my students in the Philippines. Yeah. Maybe classroom management. It's teaching any subject, not just math. You have to have it under control. Like if you don't have classroom management skills, which again, you can learn from, unfortunately, from experience. I mean, you cannot learn it just by reading a book. You have to be there, exposed to the culture. That's the big difference. Americans are more, well, in general, they're more frank. And I mean, I have Filipino students before. They're just quietly following the teacher. Like you don't have any problems. And if you tell them to stop misbehaving, they usually do that. In America, you have to kind of get their respect. So again, it comes from experience. First year was really difficult, but I was blessed with a good company of math teachers who supported me with teaching the content and also giving me tips like how do you like walk the crowd so they can focus on the lesson and not misbehave and chat with each other. Remember high school level also. So I taught college in the Philippines. So maturity level is it's not comparable. I mean, college you're already well behaved. High school they're like trying to test you. But I teach in a suburban place, and I'm sure you have heard of stories of like New York City or maybe inner city in general public schools, where it takes more classroom management and probably just total cultural shock, and you have to overcome that. Luckily for me, I kind of teach in the people are well off, so their cars they seem to be richer than I am. They have like Mustangs and Ferraris, and so, but that's just the nature. I live close to DC, and it's kind of a financially viable place. So students are like very entitled, but so that's like the behavior attitude difference. Teaching math, I'm thinking, of course, we have in the US, I was pampered with all these tools, technology. Can you imagine? I don't have to like write on the board, erase, and do it again. I have like a smart board or a Promethean board where it saves. It can save my document, and whatever I see on my screen, I can project it and I can write on it and save it again and use it for another class. So I feel like it facilitates my teaching. So technology, attitude of students, what else? Teaching math. And math is universal. So if you know your math in the Philippines, you should be able to adjust in the US. Yeah.
Okay, sir. We have next question here. What do you think is the biggest challenge of teaching math in this new normal setting?
Can you repeat the last phrase, or what's the biggest challenge in?
Teaching this subject in this new normal setting.
No, okay. Sometimes my hearing, yeah. New normal setting. So the pandemic, we have this. Yeah, biggest difference is you don't have your students in front of you. So in my experience, we cannot force our students to turn their cameras on. It's like privacy thing. So if they choose to turn it off and they mute themselves, you really have no idea what's going on. So while in the classroom, you are totally, well, at least in partial control, you can see if someone is sleeping or trying to pass papers to another student. But the good thing is, so far I have like how many weeks of teaching? 2 to 3 weeks, and then maybe for this pandemic, post-pandemic, we're actually in the pandemic, yeah, experience, and it's the good thing is you don't have classroom management problems because if they want to be quiet, then okay, they want to sleep there, you don't even know what's going on. They won't disturb the others. At least that's my experience. So I actually get to teach and I get them to unmute and I get them to participate, all of them in the chat, do the polls. And that gives me like a sense of, oh, I'm really making, maybe I'm making a difference. I'm actually able to teach. I thought I couldn't teach because of this camera off thing, but I think many of them are participating. So there's some good and bad. What else can I think of in this pandemic? The big difference. Well, we need to always keep safe, and sometimes you have to understand the situation of your students. And internet connection is also a problem, but it's probably fewer cases than maybe some parts in the Philippines. So I understand because I hear people, I have friends there complain like, I wish we had this. So let's just go modular here, module. And just do it. But yeah, so those are the things I can comment on.
Okay, thank you, sir. We have another question from Ma'am Juliet Hermoso. Sir, do I need to have an account for Khan Academy as one of my resources to share my Google Classroom?
So yeah, so you want to embed Khan Academy in Google Classroom, you have to create a teacher account. There's also a learner account. Like if you want to study, this is also good. If you want to like deepen your knowledge of math content, you're really interested, like something, I'm really crazy about math. You have free teacher. Okay? You watch videos in Khan Academy, but you need to open a teacher account. And earlier, I think I showed you my teacher dashboard. It's free. And I send my students a code, okay, by email, or when I was in class, I tell them, here's the code, I write it on the board. We still have whiteboards so we can write, but Promethean is also working like the interactive board. So I give them the information and they're forced to because I'm grading them. So they join. So you need that one. Now integrating that with Google Classroom, I also did Google Classroom, but now I have to do away with that because now we have to use what we call Blackboard. So, and what's the other one? Schoology. Those are all learning management systems. For some reason, the district doesn't want Google Classroom. But I can see how it's useful because I use the file, the folders, arrangement. I put videos, I put links, and students can even turn in assignments, PDF files, and then I grade it through my, again, my laptop is very helpful because I can convert, I have PDF. Google Classroom has the ability to, for students to turn in work and then you grade them on the screen if you have a touch screen. What else did she? So yeah, you need to have an account. Same with Desmos. Yep. Have an account. I know you can also just play with it and you don't have to make an account, but I think if you want to save your work, like you already spend so much time doing all those equations to show your students what transformation is, then you might as well create an account. Also, there's a possibility of upgrading your account for like, I think for Whiteboard? Yeah, like almost all this, like Kahoot. Kahoot, you can upgrade and you can have more than quizzes. You can have like puzzles. You can have like, other subject areas, not just math. So more capabilities if you upgrade, but you have to have a teacher account if possible.
So we have another question, sir, from our participant. So she said, sir, I am preparing myself to take video of my lecture to be sent to my students in the college using graphic tablets via Zoom recording. Do you have any suggestions to make my video lecture more interactive aside from pure lecture delivery?
Yeah, that's so, as I mentioned earlier, so, I mean, it's really hard to like talking to the board, right? Or talking to the computer. Like maybe you put some Desmos into it, like give them some interactive things while you're recording. I would recommend really Screencast-O-Matic. I think Zoom is fine, but Screencast-O-Matic is capturing everything in your screen. What else? You can give them, you want to make your kids accountable, so maybe give them some guided notes that they can follow while watching your lectures. Well, how else? It's really tough. That's why synchronous is the best. Synchronous teaching or synchronous education. Asynchronous, what else do I do? I just try to create stories. Like when I taught average rate of change, I tell them a story of spiders. For some reason, Americans, I tell them like when you were younger, you put spiders on the stick and then they fight and then they eat each other. So they're like, wow, that blows their mind. So and then you get their attention. And what's a relation? It's the average rate of change. The spider was crawling like so. You create stories. I love to introduce my lesson. You have to motivate it by using a clever story. What else have I used? I'm always thinking of things to get their attention. So first thing before you teach, like the motivation. So spider, like your experience. When I taught like sin cos cosine, like the what is that? The trigonometric sine of the sum of two angles. That formula sin cos cosine. I create stories like so. You can probably do that in video. Like of course you're talking to yourself, really, but imagine you're talking to a student. You're like, oh, sin cos cosine. How do I make this memorable? Well, sin cos in Spanish means five, cinco, right? It's Filipino five. And then cousin sounds like your cousin, your pakaisa, or okay. So and then I tell them a story like once upon a time with his favorite cousin, okay, he punched me at the back, So we were young and I hated him. So for me, he's like worth 5 cents. So and they're like, oh, I don't know, I have corny stories, but it works if you can connect it to real world. One more thing, maybe so in the video you can do that. You can copy images from Google search. You can copy. You can probably maybe watch the topic, search YouTube, and also get ideas from those who present material. Like so, Khan Academy has videos. Maybe you can watch some of those videos and then get more ideas. Okay? Again, I learned from experience, and for now, that's what I will say. It's really tough if it's asynchronous because you don't have anyone. You're just imagining that students are there. Sometimes I ask myself, yeah, that's what I do too. Like I imagine that this student is asking me, oh, I was like, Mr. OB, so how do we do this? Okay, so it's like I'm talking to myself, but it's fun for them. And I think that's better than just a pure lecture.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. We have a final question here from Ma'am Maria Gia. I would like my students to use graphing calculators during tests or exams, but is it appropriate?
So number one, do they have budget for graphing calculators? It's kind of expensive, but there's Desmos. So if you can, yeah, it's free, right? So they can use Desmos, but I don't know what particular topic you're testing on. So, but if it's relevant, just make sure that the calculator doesn't do the work for them, that it's used more for like really hard computations. But then the concept, they're able to demonstrate that they understood it, not because of the calculator. So for example, you have a problem solving thing and you allow, because it's distance learning and you're not going to, I don't even know how you are using, but so they're using their Desmos, that's a graphing calculator. It has functions like to solve for the intersection. So you can get the system solution, system applications. But first they have to translate the real world problem. Let's say I'm talking about matrices, matrix objects, and then you convert it, and then you do matrix multiplication. So they do it all so the conversion from a real world problem to math objects, that's their brain. But then finishing the job, you can let them use the calculator. So to avoid the tediousness, I mean, that's not really what you want to measure. You want to measure if they really understand the connection between the world problem as well, and also the math, the matrix equation. But after that, feel free to use the device. The worst thing is you allow them to use calculator and then they abuse it and they just do everything there, and they're not really demonstrating that they understand the topic or concept you were teaching.
Okay, so that ends our question and answer portion. And finally, sir, do you have any final or concluding words for our participants this morning?
Again, for my former students, I'm so happy to be able to share whatever knowledge I have and experience in the US, teaching with technology and sharing with you all those free resources, and hopefully inspiring you to just take a risk, just one new tool. Especially that you're forced to do this anyway, because I don't see us going back to the physical classroom anytime soon. You might as well make the most of this and learn some new trick or new skill. For the other participants who never had a pleasure of interacting before, except for this, well, now we finally meet. I wish you good luck, okay, and always keep safe, keep yourselves and your family safe. And remember, anything that is worth achieving requires some hard work. So I can personally say that all my, I watch all these YouTube videos to basically teach myself all this technology I've been sharing with you. I watch YouTube videos, I ask teachers, I have a community, okay? I ask experts. It pays off because now I feel confident. I can make my asynchronous, I have my screencast-o-matic. I feel so good because even I don't meet them, I can share the videos with them. They can always ask me questions. One more thing, we have this Remind app. I don't know if it works. Remind app is like my 24/7. My students can ask questions about the videos, and some of them do that. I like to help my students a lot. So remind.com, it's free, and I believe for a certain number of students, you have a class size limit. And then it's like a communication tool. It's like you're texting them, but they don't know your number. So that helps a lot with my communication is key. Communication with your students, I think, if you want them to be successful, they want to relate to you. And the more you communicate with them, I think the easier it is to teach them. Because they will be, the thing will be conducive to their learning, and they will be more open to you. Communication from your relationships, communication. I think Remind.com, the right use of technology, and just the courage to try something new. And if it doesn't work, at least you tried, and you can always learn from like when I make my videos, I learn from it. Okay? And I'm better. I think of more creative stories so I can make the math more real and meaningful to my students.
Okay, sir, thank you so much for a wonderful sharing this morning. I'd like to read some of the positive comments that we are receiving here via Zoom. So according to Ma'am Juliet Hermoso, thank you always for sharing your techniques and tips, Sir Dino.
You're welcome.
We have also a comment here from Ma'am Karma Hunasan. I find interested by kahoot. Thank you, sir, for sharing your expertise.
The kahoot, yep.
And of course, we have here also from Ma'am Teresa Lopo. Thank you, Sir Obregon, for the new learnings in teaching math virtually using various tools.
You're welcome.
And we have also from Ma'am Gemma. Thank you for the shared knowledge and expertise, sir. So we have also from Suwani Alejandro. Sir, thank you for sharing your ideas. And from Maria Peg Guerrero. Thank you, sir, for the very informative webinar lecture. And we have also from Sir Kadir Kimola. Thank you very much, Sir Obregon, for the knowledge you have shared. And we have also from Claudia Alipala. Thank you, sir. The best webinar ever. I hope to see you soon for another webinar.
You get the reward from Ricky again, and Ricky will pay.
All right. We have also from Sir Rodilio Sorigo. Thank you, sir. This is the new virtual learning. Looking forward for more virtual teaching online seminar in the future like this. And also from Ma'am Pearl, thank you, Sir Obregon. Now I know what tool to use teaching math. I have learned a lot. And we have also a comment from Ma'am Josa Grace Barba. Thank you so much, sir, for ideas you have shared. God bless you. And we have also from Ma'am Janet Rabot. Thank you for sharing your knowledge to us, sir. Yet I don't think we can apply this to my students since internet connection is not a priority for students, families. Anyway, thank you. And we have also from Ma'am Emmeline Venturillo. Sir, thank you very much for sharing your expertise. I learned a lot. And lastly, we have here a comment. Thank you for sharing your expertise. I learned from SDO Manila. And we still have a lot of comments, but I don't think we still have enough time to read all of this. So congratulations, sir, for delivering this wonderful topic this morning.
Thank you, but also, as you said, time is not enough. Like I was looking at time earlier, so I kind of have to speak faster. So 1 hour obviously is not enough, and I'm here to entertain questions, but I know people also have commitments. It's a Saturday morning, you need to enjoy that. I wish I had more time so I can like go deeper. Today's like a survey, in my opinion. So, but at least hopefully I push you in the right direction, and you can try something maybe next week. Right? You never know. So, thank you for all those positive comments, and good luck with your school year.
Okay, so that ends our question and answer portion. We will try to respond on your queries and concerns right after this webinar. So here's some important announcements for our participants this morning. To earn a certificate of participation, you must fill up with attendance and evaluation form. The link is posted on the Facebook official page and the POMI YouTube channel. The digital copy of your certificate will be sent on your respective email within 24 hours. Attendance and evaluation will be verified as part of the requirement before we send your certificate. Paid participants who will not receive their certificate of participation within 24 hours, kindly message on our official Facebook page or email us at century21@gmail.com. Participants who applied for membership, there will be an additional shipping fee if participants wishes to have an original copy of her certificate. Membership of 3 affiliated organizations will be free of delivery charge on the preferred address of the participants. Those who failed to watch it live, you still have the chance to get your certificate of participation. You can still watch the delayed telecast of this virtual conference. The video will be posted on our Facebook page and here in YouTube. You also have to sign up with the attendance and fill up the evaluation form. Before we end, we would like to recognize the hardworking people behind this virtual conference. We have the president of Philippine Institute of the 21st Century Educators, Ma'am Emmy John Endonila, the president of Philippine Organization of Mentors in Mathematics, Sir Ricky Kibinko, and the president of International Alliance of Mathematics Teachers, Sir Rovic Roliepa. And the active members of the committee, we have Sir Jerry Hovacon, Sir Jose Adrian Casela, John Michael Sonsa, Sir Charles Isulan, Sir Jose Jean Monticado, Adam Lunio, Raymond Casio, and Charles Isla. And to our consultants, Dr. Evelyn Beng Obo and Dr. Nora Ligaspe. We would like to thank the president of Iloilo School of Fisheries, Dr. Godeline Hisoli, for sending math instructors of the institution she is leading. And of course, the instructors of Iloilo Science and Technology University. And lastly, the Bachelor of Secondary Education major in mathematics students of Iloilo Science and Technology University. Thank you so much to our speaker, Professor Ob, for a wonderful sharing this morning, and to our dear participants for your continued support. Once again, a pleasant morning, everyone. Thank you so much, and God bless us all. Virtual clap. Of course, we would like to invite everyone to attend to our next virtual conference entitled Retooling the Professional Development of Learning Facilitators Towards a Better New Normal. So our speaker is Prakash Chandragiri. He is a principal of Goodwill Activity School, Lakeside, Pokhara, Nepal. So it will happen on, wait, when is the schedule? Yes, September 25, 2020 at 5:30 p.m. And we have also another virtual conference entitled Teaching Blended Learning Effectively Using LMS. So our speaker is Engineer Joel Garcera. He is a master in IT management, computer engineering, and a professor in Western Institute of Technology. And finally, we would like to invite everyone to attend at least 5 events of PICE 21, and the remaining virtual conferences will be free of charge. And also, here's the link for the evaluation. So in order to get your certificate of participation, kindly send your evaluation or answer the evaluation posted on this link. So thank you once again, and a pleasant morning in the Philippines, and good evening, Sir Ob, in the United States of America. Thank you.
See you guys. Thank you.